been sunburned and sandblasted, cut by coral, stung by jellyfish, stabbed by a sea urchin, have run out of air 80 feet beneath the surface, and still can't get enough of the everlasting sea. And, it's a love affair going on half a century. And what I try and do in the book is talk about my loves, adventures, and also traumas, both to myself and the ocean that I love over this last half century. Of course, right now we're in the midst of yet another major trauma. It was about a decade ago. I was visiting BP deep drilling platforms in the Gulf of Mexico and asked the company man on board, what happens when you get a blowout a mile or two down? He says, well, I guess we'll find out when it happens. A decade later, we're finding out. The same time I was talking to the environmental director of Mineral Management Service, the only regulatory agency that literally has been in bed with the industry it was supposed to regulate. The inspector general was talking about MMS employees having sex and drugs and paintball parties in Houston with the industry. So the head of the environmental division, I say, how come since the founding of your agency, you've never canceled a lease sale based on your own oil spill risk assessment? He says, well, David, something as big as a lease, you're not going to cancel it on one issue. So the history, which I talk about also in this book, of oil is offshore is a history of predictable disasters. You go into new frontier waters, starting with the oil piers off Summerlin, California in the 1890s, and you get gushers and you get sabotage and you get what the San Jose Mercury News described as a town awash in oil slime. So Santa Barbara up the coast didn't want that. They were dependent on tourism, and they managed to block it for about 80 years until 1969, when they were told that the drilling technology was so much safer now that Union Oil could drill, and on its third drill, because they foreshortened the controls and the caps on the pipe string, they hit a snag, and you had a blowout, and you had a couple of million gallons up on the beaches in California. It goes on.